Guys, it's Sarah, and today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to be following up on our 5-star predictions. This round we worked with Vicky from Vicky's Book Nook, and it was perfect because it is spooky season. We were all kind of in the mood to read some spooky, scary books, so that's the theme that we went with. And Vicky reads a lot of that in her everyday reading, so it was perfect. And we each picked 3 books that we thought were going to be 5 stars. We read them, and today we're going to give you our thoughts. I'm going to go in the order that I read mine. So the first one that I read was Kill Creek. This is by Scott Thomas. And this follows a group of authors who are invited to go to this notoriously haunted house in Kansas and spend Halloween night there. And it's under the guise of, we're going to do some interviews, we're going to get you some publicity, all that kind of stuff. These are 4 very popular horror authors, and they write different types of horror books, and they all kind of need it. So they all go, they agree to go, and they are staying the night in this haunted house. And you are getting the history of the house itself, why people believe it's haunted, and obviously while they're there, some really strange things start happening. And then they end up leaving the house the next day, and then strange things continue to happen after they left the house. And I really enjoyed this. It did take me a while to read it, though. I was able to put it down for a bit, and I read some other stuff in between. So it wasn't unputdownable for me, but the creep factor was definitely there. I thought that what was happening after they left was incredibly interesting, and I really liked the direction that that went in and the way that it kind of still tied them together even after they left the house. And a lot of things were just kind of happening, and I wasn't expecting a lot of it. So definitely creepy, not necessarily scary, but creepy for sure, and definitely some gore and stuff happening in here. But it was very good. I did really enjoy it. I did give it 4 stars. It didn't quite keep me captivated the entire time, but I did really enjoy it a lot. There are content warnings in this one for suicidal thoughts, for domestic abuse, and for self-harm. So those are things that are in here that are featured in some way, shape, or form. So be mindful of that. And then something that was interesting is the names of the people who were involved with this house from the past. Their names were interesting because one of them was Joshua. My husband's name is Josh. And then there was a pair of sisters that also lived in this house at one point, and their names were Rachel and Rebecca. My husband's sisters' names are Rachel and Rebecca. So the entire time I was reading those parts, I just kept picturing them because I can't hear Rachel and Rebecca, our sisters, without picturing my sisters-in-law. So it was just kind of funny. I was like, interesting. All 3. Got it. And this was a book that was very kindly sent to me from one of my subscribers. So Hulda, thank you so much for sending this my way, and I'm happy that I finally read it. The next one that I finished is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This one was one of my most anticipated releases of this year because I have loved Grady Hendrix before, and I was very excited about his new one. And this one I also really enjoyed. This is one that I listened to on audio, and it is narrated by Jay and Michaela Asing, and they were great. So really good narration for this book. And this one is about a woman who is going back to her hometown because her parents have passed, and she needs to go and deal with that and putting them to rest and dealing with the house and dealing with her brother, who she has been estranged from. They are not really in contact anymore. They've had a big falling out, and she has to go back and deal with all this stuff. She finds out some interesting things when the reading of the will happens. And so she and her brother are, just kind of trying to work all this stuff out. Her brother's very difficult and has a lot of really strong feelings about things. And so it just becomes a situation where she can't just do whatever she wants. And she's having to navigate that. All the while, there are strange things happening in this house, and it surrounds her mother's career. I don't want to say too much because I went into this knowing what the whole creep factor was going to be, and I kind of wish I didn't know that. So I'm just going to kind of keep it a little bit quiet, although I think a lot of people already know at this point. But it has to do with her mother's career and what she did for a profession, and the things that she had to use in her profession are a big part of the house, and creepy things start happening. And it also dives into the past and what has happened in their childhood that is kind of bringing up memories and bringing up signs and all these things of the things that are happening right now. And so you're watching them deal with this. Okay, definitely creepy. Definitely creepy. And went off the rails in a very good way. But that's what Grady Hendrix does. His stuff can just get so ridiculous. Sometimes it's really funny. And then sometimes it can also be like, okay, can't really get behind that aspect of these things. Some of the things that happened, I was just kind of like, okay. So I was a little bit up and down with that type of thing, but I also missed a little bit of his humor. I wish this had more of the humor that the Southern Book Club had, because there was a lot of humor in that one. This one didn't have quite as much as that. So I wish the characters were a little bit more snarky or, whatever, but it's fine. It is what it is. And I really enjoyed it though. I gave this one 4 stars. So, all in all, still like a really, really good book. Okay, and the last one that I finished is Wonderland by Jennifer Hillier. All right. This one takes place in a small town in southern Washington, and it is surrounding this theme park that is there. And the theme park is basically the whole town. It is the single biggest attraction and moneymaker for the town itself. Therefore, anything that has to do with Wonderland is protected at all costs by the government, by the police force, by everything. And you see people take advantage of that, definitely, because there are some things happening in Wonderland that are just absolutely 100% not okay, including dead bodies showing up. And we are following our main character. Her name is Vanessa. She is the new deputy chief of police, and it's her coming back to this place because she had lived in this town growing up a little bit, and then she worked at Wonderland as a teenager, as most teenagers in this town and surrounding areas do, because it's a big moneymaker, and it's just kind of something that all the kids do. They end up working at Wonderland at some point. And she's coming back because she left the Seattle Police Department under some interesting conditions. And so she needed this job, so she went back and took it. And a dead body shows up at Wonderland. So that's kind of her first case. And some things start happening, and she's connecting some dots, and she's like, why has nobody connected these dots? And it's been a whole thing because there's a lot of cover up going on. And so she's getting into the nitty gritty of Wonderland itself and the people who are running it and the police force and all these things. And I loved this book. I just had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea where she was going to take the story, where she was going to take her characters. And I love that. I literally had no idea. There were a lot of different areas and angles and, things happening that I didn't see coming. And I never knew what was going to happen. And I had theories along the way, and they were all being proven wrong. And I just loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. And Jennifer Hillier this is my second book from her, and now I want to read everything. 100%. I kind of thought I was going to, but after reading this, 1000%, I'm going to read everything that she's written because I think she's fantastic. So, yep, 5 stars for this one. There is content warnings in here as well. There is a theme of child molestation going on, and there is also suicidal thoughts happening in here. So, something to keep in mind as well. And then also sexual assault. So, keep that in mind. Okay, those are my results of this round of 5-star predictions. 2 4s and a 5. That's pretty darn good. And make sure you head over to Lindsay's channel and Vicky's channel today and see what their results were for their 5-star predictions. I'm really excited to see what they gave theirs. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.